Hey, good day, morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. As I mentioned in part one of the week 2 update, I had to split the video up into 2 parts because it was running long. So today, or in this video, I'm going to be showing you the fungicide and the starter fertilizer and doing that update. So here is the continuation of the week 2 update, and I hope you enjoy. I've been seeing some fungal activity, and you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it here, but I'm gonna see if I can show it to you. I don't know if you can see right there. There's that spider web looking stuff they call mycelium. Oh, there's a ton over here. Right in there. You see right there, in there, all over this place. So I got some Scotch disease X, and I'm gonna put down the fungal, the fungicide, to try to control it a bit and keep it down, so it doesn't damage any of the new turf grass that's growing in. So I'm gonna be putting that down and the fertilizer to help push up some more growth. Even though we're kind of going through a little heat wave right now, I don't know if it's a good idea to do that. Maybe I'll wait a week on that. I haven't decided yet. For the fungicide, I'm gonna put down, I got Scotch disease X. That's supposed to control for 4 weeks, which should be enough through the seeding. And it's got a preventative setting, and a curative setting. I don't really have much damage from the fungus. So I'm not going to use the curative rate. I'm going to go a little bit lower, which is 2 1/4 setting on the spreader. That's 2 pounds per 1,000, and I have about, this is a 10-pound bag. So I have about 2.5. So I'm going to use about 5 pounds or so of this. I end up using on this front yard. But that's what I'm going to be doing, and it says to only make 1 pass with the spreader, so I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to set it to 2 1/4, and I'm just going to do 1 pass with the spreader and call it a day. So it did take more than one pass to get that out. What I ended up doing was I poured in about half of the bag, because it's a 10-pound bag, and as I calculated earlier, I was gonna need about 5 pounds. So I just went about halfway on the bag. And since I did have some brown patch on my grasses earlier, I said, what the heck, let's go at a little bit higher dosage. So I might have gone maybe twice the rate, but I don't know. Either way, it's within the limit. Since this is about 2,000 square feet over here, maybe 2,500, I should have used about 4 pounds, 5 pounds. And I did, approximately, maybe a little bit more. If I went for the full curative rate, it would have been the whole bag for 2,500 square feet. 2.5 thousand times 4 pounds is 10. So 2.5 times 4 is 10 pounds. I would have used the whole bag since I used about half of them, somewhere in the middle there, and I'll be okay. I'm not overdoing it, and I'm definitely not underdoing it. So let's go to the fertilizer now. All right, so for the starter fertilizer, the bag says to set the spreader to 4.5. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna make one pass, and I'm not gonna try to overlap or anything else. Anything extra that I have, I will pour back into the bag, and that's gonna be it for today, because I already have, as I mentioned, I already have about a half a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square foot on the yard, and I don't want to go too high to the 1 pound of nitrogen. I'm hoping to get around 0.75 pounds of nitrogen or something. So I'm just gonna go a little bit lighter on this one, and let's call it a day. You gotta make sure to blow or sweep the fertilizer back into the grass. You don't want any of that laying around on the sidewalk. You don't want anyone, picking it up. You don't want any dogs picking it. You don't want any kids getting a hold of it. So get it off the grass. Get it on the grass. Get it off the driveway and get it on the grass. I only did this side, by the way. I'm only working on this side right now. Later, I'm going to be working on this side. There's a little strip right here. When I do the backyard, I'm going to do this whole side to go along with it. So the first goal trial right here on the front yard. Usually you try on the backyard where people don't see. Yeah, well, I'm trying it on the front yard because I look at it every day out my window, and I want to see good grass. One thing to note, you might have noticed, I don't know if it was in the camera, but I did put some of the fertilizer up in the mulch, even though I don't have anything growing in there. I have some fungus issues over here. I don't know if you can see them. These things over here, these things right over there, all these little brown spots, that's all fungus. And then one thing I learned is that you're supposed to compost your mulch before you install it to prevent mold and funguses from growing. Let them compost, let them die off in the heat. Well, the other option is you put down nitrogen fertilizer before you put down the mulch. And neither of those happened, and I got fungus and I've got mold. So I thought, hey, let's try it. Let's throw some nitrogen on there and see if that helps water it in good and see if that helps to help break down the mulch underneath, speed up the breakdown, and somewhat take care of the fungus and mold problem. I did put the fungicide on that fungus area too, and I went out like a few extra doses, go a little bit heavy over there, and see if it'll take care of those a bit. But I'm just gonna have to scoop them up and throw them out or something so the spores don't get all over the place. But that's the problem to deal with another day. So that's the update with the front yard. Well, yeah, I forgot to mention, I did not end up spraying Tenacity on the seed when I put it down. I got lazy, or the timing just didn't work out, and so I just wanted to see, like, what happens if I don't. Well, I got weeds. I don't know if they were from the grass seed or from that were already in the soil, because I used to have a ton of weeds on the edge before I sprayed earlier this year, and I got rid of those, but their seeds may still have been in the soil. But I got some spurge coming out. I got a few broadleaf weeds, dandelion looking weeds, milkweed, whatever they're called. There's that spurge right there. That was one I already pulled. So I've just been trying to go through and pull what I see, but there's a lot of them. So I will end up spot spraying with that the Spectracide that I got, and when I do Tenacity for the backyard, when I seed that, I'm gonna also spray the front. I should wait about 4 weeks. They say to wait until the second cut before you spray. And technically this was my second cut, but it's only been 2 weeks. So it's either a second cut or 4 weeks, whichever is longer. So I have to wait for 4 weeks, 2 more weeks before I can put down any weed killer on the new grass, because I don't want to undo the work that I did, So that's the front lawn update for the overseeding, and I'll come back in a week or two and we'll see how much more filled in. It is growing real good, and so far so good. I'm pretty happy, except for that Kentucky 31 thing that I mentioned earlier. So we'll find out what happens in a month. And when I mentioned that I get a lawn company to aerate. I'm starting to ramble here, but I mentioned that I get a lawn company to aerate, and it turned out that I found a lawn company that does it for about $70-$80. To rent the aerator from Home Depot, I need a truck, so I need to borrow a friend's truck or rent one of theirs, which is $20 for like an hour or something. So then and then the aerator itself is like $60-$70 to rent. So even though I would have had more control over how much I aerate, I can go over some clay spots an extra time so I can get more stuff in there. The last time that the company came out, I just mentioned to them, this area needs a little bit extra. Can you go make another pass over? And they did. They're using like not a riding lawnmower, but like kind you stand up on, but then it has the aerator underneath and it's just like weighted down. It's not one of those real core aerator machines, but it works, at least enough for what I need it to do. Just to open holes, it does pull plugs out. So I just asked them to do that. It was an extra couple minutes. It didn't really bother them. So hopefully this time I'll just ask them to go over this middle section right here a couple times, because that was all clay, and hopefully they don't mind. But the cost came out to not be worth my time to go rent it, even though I like to DIY everything myself. This is one thing I'm outsourcing, and I really don't care about how well they do it or whatever. It gets done. It gets done enough to where I need it to be, so that the soil gets opened up and I can put some more stuff down in. And so when that happens, they're gonna do the front. They do the whole yard. and they're supposed to come in September, as I mentioned before. If you don't get like True Green or one of those companies, they charge like $200, $250 to do core aeration. That's a ripoff. Call local companies, find someone local. If you can find someone to do it for $60, $70, $80, in my opinion, that's worth it. Saves you the time, it's about the same cost, and you don't have to worry about cleaning the machine after or any of that other nonsense that they try to nickel and dime you with. If you don't do it right, if you turn it in and it's still dirty or whatever, they charge you $70 or something. It's more than the original rental. So don't bother with that, in my opinion, unless you have a really big yard or you can't find someone nearby that can do it cheap. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. And maybe I'm a sellout on the DIY part, but sometimes you just have to balance what you're gonna do yourself and what you're gonna hire someone else to do. And in this case, it was worth it to hire someone else to do it. But everything else I'm doing myself. I have my own the Sunjo Dethatcher. I do that myself every year because I do it like 2 or 3 times a year. So it's worth it to buy it, and it's not that much of a headache. It would cost a lot more to rent a power rake, and power rake does a lot more damage to the grass. The Dethatcher is a lighter raking, doesn't damage the grass as much, and it recovers faster. So, that's something you DIY, in my opinion. Get a Dethatcher if you like them. I like it. I like it a lot, and it works a lot for me. And I've been seeing in some of the lawn groups, people are just buying them up left and right because everyone's talking about how awesome they are and sharing their pictures, and they really are. I really like it. And I did it on my front yard here, and you can see how much it perked up. I haven't done it on my backyard or the side yard, and they're still brown, but I also haven't been watering them, and we're going through a little bit of a heat wave right now, so I think I've rambled on long enough now. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, if I helped you out, gave you any information that you could use in your own lawn, please like and subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube, or follow me on Instagram, and I'll catch you next time.